All right, what's up? So Trump just threw out on Truth Social a really funny proposal. He was blasting people that don't like tariffs, and he was like, you know what? Uh, People who don't like tariffs don't understand anything because we're going to take the tariff money and we're going to cut every person that's not rich a $2,000 check paid for by the tariffs. I mean, Trump is he's a really good politician as far as like getting his base worked up and reading the crowd, like amazing. But it started to get me thinking, if you know what I mean. So I just did the math. In so the amount of money the U.S. takes in tariffs, if you were to divide it by just the poor and the middle class adults, the U.S. can realistically cut maybe like a $60 check to everybody. And then I was also curious because of these new tariffs, how much is every adult paying more in just like products that they buy? Because obviously, American companies or just our economy altogether uses these imports to make stuff. So basically, we pay about like $62. We're paying a little bit more. The funny thing is, every American is paying a bit more in tariffs than the like $65 than the check that he can cut. So I mean, to me, the math is not mathing. It's not going to work. So it would be like the circular thing, right? So the government would take $60 out of your pocket to give you like a tiny little bit less or whatever. Somebody could say like, oh well, now our industries are protected, from imports, but still uh, you have like the states paying to the federal government and only getting back 70% of the money they sent in because 30% is lost to bureaucratic costs. You have Norway, they increased their like wealth tax or whatever, and a bunch of billionaires left. So instead of getting a projected like $150 million, they have a negative $480 million deficit. It's one of those things where even if it works on paper, the minute you raise a tax or you start taxing, you actually get much less revenue because what's the whole point of a tax? Whole point of a tax is to discourage things. Like they put a tax on cigarettes, they put a tax on CO2 for people to stop doing that, right? So you put a in order to cut everybody a $2,000 check, you would need tariffs in the 70-80% range, which would not work anyway. It's impossible. It would just kill the trade. So there would be no, you would almost get like the law of diminishing returns. The Laffer curve strikes again.